Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Yay. I can't see anybody, but I can hear someone. Who was that?
That was Jen.
Hi, Jen. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Just hanging out at home. How about you?
Same. Got my all my monitors up and ready to go.
Awesome. Well, it looks like we've still got a few more people joining in here, so let's just give everyone a few minutes. I know this is a new tool, so we'll try and get started here about like 12:05. Let's see if we have any other people join. So far, I cannot see any of your faces, so just letting you know that. Oh, it's Rochelle. Hey, Rochelle. All right, looks like we've got a few more people joining. All right, for those that have just joined, we're just waiting a few minutes until we get, I have a few people that are supposed to be on this call, so I'm just waiting for them. And once they get on, we'll go ahead and start.
Hey, Caitlin, it's Lauren. Can you,
Hey, Lauren.
hey, can you see the attendance at the top just so you can see who's on the call? Just curious.
Yes, I can see the participants.
I just wanted to make sure. And just so everyone knows, you're automatically muted, but you can unmute to talk at any time. Except for you,
Okay.
all the people attending are going to be automatically muted.
Oh, okay, great.
Just thought I'd let you know so there wasn't any confusion.
Yes, I appreciate it. All right, Susan's here. Hi, Susan. Looks like she's on a planet right now. That's great. All right, we're just gonna wait a couple more minutes, make sure everyone's on the call, then we'll get started. All right. Looks like we've got a few more people joined, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Hi, everyone. I'm so glad everyone could join the call today. I've got a lot to share with you, and I'm really excited. I have been doing a lot of research in the last couple weeks. With everything that's going on in our world right now, things are ever changing, and so that means that your marketing plan probably needs a little editing right now. Oh, there's Kara. Hey, Kara. As people join the call, we're just going to continue and keep on going. If anyone has any questions or anything, feel free to interrupt me at any time. So one of the things that you guys probably all know by now is that, hold on, Clinton's trying to get a hold of me. Let's see. He's not in the right meeting. He says it's just Crystal and him, so I think they're in the wrong one. Hey, Lauren, is there another meeting that they probably joining the wrong one?
Yeah, they probably joined the old one. The email that I sent out this morning has everything in it, as well as I put a post in our Facebook team page.
All right, I'm sending them a note right now.
And I can text it to them too.
Yeah, if you could go ahead and do that.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Thank you. Okay, so diving into our marketing plan, as you probably all know, marketing plan is something that you put together that represents how you're going to market to your clients throughout the year. It can be on a month-to-month basis, it can be on a quarterly basis, and hopefully most of you started your marketing plan back in January, but if you didn't, no judgment here, we're here to help. Today I actually kind of renamed the meeting in my head to Rethinking Your Marketing Plan During COVID-19. You may have created a marketing plan already, and that's wonderful, and I applaud you for doing that. But during these unprecedented times, it's so important now more than ever to reconsider how you're targeting your audience. And if you'll notice, I said COVID-19. I really encourage you all to use the term COVID-19 when speaking to your clients. Corona is a beer, coronavirus is a cold, and COVID-19 is the pandemic that we are currently dealing with. So please keep that in mind as you want to look like an expert when talking to your clients. That's really important, especially when you're putting out written communication. It's important to show that you're taking this seriously and that you see it as COVID-19 and not a beer. Hey, Crystal. Looks like we've got everyone joining now, so that is great. So one of the things that I've been researching is how other countries are handling their marketing during this time. As I said, it's unprecedented. Not many people know how to deal with this. We're all kind of just living it day to day and doing the best we can. But by studying other countries' marketing efforts, it's going to help us be better at what we do on a day-to-day basis. As you all probably know, China and Italy were kind of the front runners in this pandemic. And so when I was researching, I was actually looking to those two countries to understand how their marketing efforts were going to affect what we could be doing here at PJ Morgan today. Believe it or not, China was really the only one that provided stats on their marketing efforts. And we can all probably guess why. It's because Italy is still kind of run down and overwhelmed with what's going on right now. So that is important to realize, that we want to stay ahead of this and we don't want to become that country that's overwhelmed and run down by what's going on. We want to stay ahead of it. So let's talk China and its experience with COVID-19. I hope that you guys can all take a few notes today just to kind of stay interactive. I know that staring at my face is probably going to get a little boring. So go ahead and try and take some notes. I will be sending out an update after this with a few links to some great articles that I found when I was researching. But for right now, I do have a few stats I want to share with you. So in studying China, I found out that the time spent online since the COVID crisis hit them, the time spent online in China increased by 20%. That is obviously kind of a no-brainer. Obviously, people are stuck at home and they have nothing else to do but watch TV and be on the internet. But it's also something for you to really take into account of, where is your target audience at right now and what are they doing? And what online platforms are they using that maybe they didn't use as much before, but now they're bored and they need a little bit more entertainment. So think about that. Another fun fact I found out is time spent watching short videos online increased by 14%. Susan's gonna love that fact because she's always telling you guys to do videos, and that means that, you know, the videos work. They're reaching your audience and they're interactive and engaging. So what better time to do that than now when everyone's sitting at home? Something that Ryan and Susan have been saying a lot lately that really resonated as I was doing my research is think outside the box. We are dealing with this new unprecedented thing, and how do we do that? By looking to other brands and to look outside of our industry. It's not always all about real estate. It's actually really important to look at how other companies are handling this pandemic, because we can learn a lot from them. Something that I learned that I thought was really interesting, activewear brands in China saw their usage online double. For example, Nike began posting workouts online and they amassed an additional 346,000 followers and 2 million likes. Now, I know we're not Nike. I know that none of us have that kind of following, but it's that kind of moment in time of realizing, oh my gosh, if they can get that kind of interaction with their clients just by posting online, then what can we get individually? Another thing that I found out is the outbreak of COVID-19 accelerated trends that were already developing fast in China. For instance, this included investments in e-commerce, gamification, and live streaming. Do any of you know what gamification is? I would love for someone to chime in if you do know. Anyone? Nobody? All right, well, gamification is essentially rewarding someone for interacting with your brand. One of my favorite examples is the Monopoly game that McDonald's does, on the cups where you get the little Monopoly sticker. Or even just something as simple as a punch card when you go to your favorite cookie place and they give you a punch for every time you buy a cookie. It's essentially wrapping in the idea of a game into interacting with you. And this is something that I really want you guys to explore while creating your marketing plan during this time. We're all kind of freaked out and scared and anxious. So let's make this fun and let's find a new way to interact with our clientele. Maybe that can be, doing a quiz bowl type thing and saying, hey, for anyone that knows the answer to this question, I will mail you a gift card to Starbucks or something like that to treat you and, to give you something fun during this challenging time. Going back to other companies that kind of set the precedents for China, I know we're not a makeup company, but this one is actually really awesome. A Shanghai-based cosmetics brand temporarily shut down around half of its 337 stores in China, and it decided to use live streaming to engage with their consumers. In just 15 days after starting a live streaming campaign, the company's sales surpassed the same day last year by 45%. So what can we learn from China? We need to embrace online platforms, do more video, do more live streaming. And for those of you, live streaming is when you are on a video and people can interact with you while you're on that video, whereas just plain video is where you've pre-recorded it and you're posting it online. So live streaming is interactive and video, not as much. We also need to be taking advantage of more people being online for longer amounts of time. So diving into our plan of action, we obviously need to be thinking outside of the box and looking at how other businesses outside of real estate are surviving COVID-19. One of the things that I did find, so I couldn't find marketing stats for Italy, but I did find real estate. And I'm going to be sending you a list of sources that I would like you all to read and look at. This is really going to help you understand what's going on out there in the world and help you to better hone in on what you need to be doing personally. One of the more surprising sources that I found was from Vogue Business. And the reason why I'm going to be sharing that with you all is one of my favorite quotes from it was, all the while, sensitivity should be front of mind, especially given brands' track record of showing a lack of understanding of cultural and geopolitical issues in the past. So, do we want to get political with all of this? We definitely could, but we don't want to. We as business owners try to stay neutral when it comes to that sort of thing. But what we can do and what we need to be doing during this time is creating a sense of trust with our clients. Now more than ever, we need to have that sense of trust. And what we can do by diving into that, so Italy reported a significant lag in open houses recently with the pandemic, and it was because of the fear of contagion was so great. That is something that we all need to learn a lesson from when it comes to doing our open houses. How can you diminish that fear, and what can you be doing? Is it virtual tours? Is it photographic proof that you are taking the necessary precautions? Clinton posted a photo yesterday of Susan, and she's standing in front of the house and she's got her hand sanitizer. She is showing everyone that she's prepared, that she's ready. She's creating that sense of trust that we all need right now. You need to be putting yourself in the buyer's and seller's shoes and be asking yourself, what would you be looking for right now if fear was overtaking your thoughts and actions? What would make you feel more comfortable to go to an open house? You need to visually show those elements on your social media so people know, hey, this agent is taking this seriously and they don't think it's crazy. They don't think it's a joke. And that kind of ties back to how I was saying, call this COVID-19 and not Corona. I know that I know that humor is necessary to get through what we're dealing with right now, but again, it goes back to that sense of trust. And you can still throw in Corona if you know your client is going to be able to handle that banter back and forth, but definitely keep that in mind. Something else to consider, rates are low right now. What can you be doing to encourage refinancing and spreading the word about low rates? It's as simple as being an expert and doing a live stream, talking about how people can take advantage of these changing times and making the most out of their real estate investments. Sure, part of that falls on the bank to take care of that, but by showing your knowledge and showing how you know what they can be doing, you can't beat that. Another thing that I learned that I don't know if any of you guys have thought about this yet or not, but it is something definitely to consider. I'm going to be sending you an article that links back to Phoenix's impact in their real estate market from COVID-19. And one of the major things that they talk about is Airbnb and how they're reporting a surge in Airbnb houses going up for sale. I know that Omaha is not prime Airbnb territory, but if you think about it, with the College World Series, the Olympic swim trials, and other big events being canceled or postponed in Omaha, we need to be taking advantage of that niche market. If you know someone who's an Airbnb owner, maybe you should be reaching out to them and saying, hey, is there anything that, I can do to help you during this time? Maybe we need to put this up for sale and I can help you find at a later date, a different home if you consider you want to do this. But with people's budgets getting tight, maybe they need to put that Airbnb house on the market. You never know. So I do have Clinton on the phone on the Zoom chat. And I'm going to be getting to him in here in just a moment, but I wanted to wrap up really quickly and say, what is in your marketing toolbox? Social media is your hottest tool right now, and Clinton is going to be addressing that with you. Also, written communication. Whether it's email blasts, postcards, letters, I'm here to help you determine how to best utilize your budget when it comes to those items. And then Clinton is here to help you with the social media aspect. And then ultimately, how do you measure success in all of this? With everything going on, you have to be experimenting. We can't necessarily measure success and tell you right here, right now, oh, if you post 5 videos a day, you're gonna do awesome and you're gonna get all these interactions. We can't tell you that because right now it's just a very volatile time, but by experimenting and trying those live streams, trying those pre-recorded videos, try Facebook, try Instagram, try all of it. You're gonna figure out what your audience responds to. And once they start responding, you'll learn what quickly works and what doesn't. So don't get discouraged. As this virus disrupts our normal patterns, we need to be open to change. So that's kind of why we're here today, helping you rethink your marketing plan and kind of thinking outside of that box and what you can be doing to make an impact on your clients. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it over to Clinton so that he can talk to you all about social media. Oh, you're still on mute, Clinton.
There you go. Can you hear me now? Okay. Who all do we have on this call or this Zoom meeting? We got Susan, I see Crystal. Who else?
We have about 19 people on this call right now.
Okay, I see. Okay. All right. So what, I don't know if all of you follow the Facebook group that we have, the PJMRE Facebook group. But Kat posted a really good photo yesterday, and I sort of explained the reasons why on there. I think it's important right now to have some sort of presence online. Now, it doesn't have to be social media, but it's the easiest, most effective way to do it. You know, you can create a website. There's a lot of other ways, but social media is just so easy to create a quick professional profile. And it doesn't necessarily require you to do a ton of posting and work on that. You know, you can just create one, and I bet you can create one in about 30 minutes. And I tell you what, I have my phone number here, my cell phone number. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Oh, it's backwards though on mine. Is it backwards on yours as well? Okay. Go ahead and text me 402-202-8694. Okay. That's a really great way to get a hold of me. And if you have questions, if you're going through, you know, the process of setting something up on Facebook or Instagram, I like those two formats. I like those two formats because that's where your buyer's going to be. I think LinkedIn's great. I think Twitter's great, but I feel like your buyer more likely than not in the residential field is going to be on Instagram or Facebook. And that's the best way to connect with them. And when you create that page, your friends are going to see that you created that page. Now, so that solves the problem. And that's because you can't interact with people in person. I relied in my past on interacting with people in person, and I would convey who I was and what I was selling to them in person. And I can't do that anymore. So you're really limited. And the only way you're going to be able to interact with these people, at least temporarily, is through this media. So if you create that, I'll help you do it. Write down my number, text me, please. I love helping doing that. So I'll bug you if you don't call me. With that, you can set it up, and then what you want to do is the content that you post on that. I have talked with more than a few agents about this, and a lot of them are like, I don't have time, or I don't have content. And you know, content's a big thing, but don't overthink it. And like Kat's post the other day, she didn't overthink it. She just posted a picture of a duck in a pool, which is hilarious. I mean, that's the kind of thing where your client is going to see that, and they're going to see what you're doing, and they're going to look at that image and identify that with what you do for a living. You know, it's pools in the back of houses. And so that was a really great way. With frequency, Caitlin kind of discussed that a little bit. You don't have to post every day. So let's say you're just starting and it's difficult for you to come up with material every day. Well, then post every 3 days, because really what you're trying to do is just create an anchor, a professional anchor where people can access your information and text you and things like that. So that you're just looking for a way for them to connect with you and have that anchor. You have to think about it that way. It's like your business card, essentially. And so just every once in a while is fine. And you want to post content that reflects who you are as a person. So I'm into Volkswagens. I love Volkswagens. I've had 3 VW buses. And I could share content related to VW buses on there as well and kind of mix that in, you know, not all the time, but that would show my personality. And then other Volkswagen people that are into that would like sort of like interact with me on that basis, but then I could also sell them a house. You know, that's a good way to do it. There is an algorithmic content to this, and that's why I like Kat's post also. I mean, that just happened to be last night, so it's not like that's the only post that's a good post. It just was, you know, timely. But, you know, you want to interact with algorithms. So all social media is based on an algorithm, and the amount of people that see your content is based on that algorithm. So if you post something and nobody likes it, or it's not very interesting, Facebook is going to bury it in content like other content that is on Facebook. So what you want to do is you want to tag people. You want to, post things that people are going to interact with, like it, share it, whatever. And those things, and it's huge. Like even on PJ Morgan's social media accounts, when we get our post shared, it's from 200 people seeing it to 1,500 people seeing it. I mean, that's a difference of like 1,300 people. So where else you're going to get that kind of exposure? Maybe somebody has an idea and I don't know that idea, but I feel like this is really a winner for you guys right now. And I'd love to help you figure it out. Does anybody have any questions about social media or other ideas or anything like that about this topic?
Clinton, it looks like Jason has a question. It popped up in the chat.
Okay. This is only my second time. Where is it? How do I see it? Oh, I see. Okay, great question, Jason. I love this. Okay, so that is a thing, right? You're like, is a duck picture professional? And that's excellent question. It is, because it relates to the house. So the picture of the duck is funny and engaging, but the focus is still the house that she's selling. So she's still selling that house with that duck picture, but and it's emphasizing that there is in fact a pool in the house, at the house. So I think, yes, I would absolutely share that on your professional one. And that's a good question too, because some people don't like social media and they're like, I don't even want to do it for my own personal life. I definitely don't want to have 2 accounts that I have to maintain. They've made that really easy. On your phone, you can toggle through your accounts if you have a professional account and a personal account. And I do it. I have a personal Instagram that has like no followers and it's pictures of me and my child fishing. But then I have, professional accounts, a couple of them that I use only for professional content. But I think the duck picture is good because it's engaging and it's about the house. It's not about cat, it's about the house. I hope that helps. Any other questions or anything?
So Clinton, can you talk about the personal pages versus the professional pages just a little bit more, and how they should manage those and what that all looks like?
Yeah, sure. I don't know if this will work. I kind of got my phone ready. We'll see what happens. Okay. Can you see my phone? Oh, you can you? Okay, so this is my personal page. And then I can toggle through, this is Instagram. And you can toggle through, I think, did we just get a question? No. You can toggle through and then okay, so this is unrelated to PJ, but this is my prior to PJ, this was my professional account and it's my home and closet. And you can just toggle through and select what you want. And so with content as a realtor, it's a different type of thing because you're selling yourself as the asset, right? Like you're not selling furniture or balloons or cars, you're selling yourself. You're selling your services. And so they're gonna reflect you, both of them are to a higher extent, say, than someone who's selling cars or something. So I would say there is that unique aspect to realty where the personal versus the professional are how they're separated and how they become they're intertwined somewhat. So I would say with your professional one, be professional. So, Caitlin mentioned, don't, political. Obviously you don't want to be political. You can be political if you want. I mean, it's your realty page, but do you want to exclude buyers? Are you trying to, why would you ever do anything that would make your market smaller? You don't want to do that. So just keep it apolitical, and it's really the safe bet. If you want to go political, you can do that. That's a rally sometimes. But it's a tough play because you're going to push people away sometimes. So I would say just, and I don't know if I'm answering your question, Susan, but it's a fine line. And it's, you want to share something, but you want to be sharing content, but every 3 days, post every 3 days. And then you get a house for sale, definitely post that house and share that PJ link, because we've been trying to, you know, really make those houses pretty. So you have a pretty link to share with all the information there so that you can share that. And then because of that, the algorithm, that'll help that to succeed as well.
Yeah, that answers the question. I was really just, you know, sometimes people shy away from having 2 pages because they feel like it's too much to manage. But I find it easier. I find it in a spot where, like what you're saying, I can adjust accordingly. Like I'm rarely posting a picture of, I don't know, I'm not going to post Billy's graduation photos on my Go Susan Clark
Yes.
Facebook page, right? I'm going to maybe post a picture of my dog, and because it's spring and I put a little pink bow on him or something, you know, like that stuff might go on my Go Susan Clark, but I tie it into being something relevant. Because I do think there's a fine line of making sure you show a little personality, let people get to know you a little bit on the business side versus it just being all houses.
Yeah, and I mean, there's no exact equation. I mean, it's the realtor. Your professional page in a realty type environment is gonna reflect your personality. I think that's important, and I think that's a strength. I just don't think you should overdo it, and you should just, you know, keep it a kind of on. It's not the main. So your services are the main attraction, not you. So you want to illustrate who you are, but you don't want to like take it over and make it all about your kid's graduation. I would agree with that. But occasionally a picture of you and your child, that's an appropriate thing, I think. You know, I think that's a good thing. I think your clients are going to want to see that.
Yep, I would agree.
You know, and we're also working on video. So, you know, to you guys, we've been doing video, and I did post a story the other day, and, you know, I've even had a HGTV link up, but it's too much of a pain in the butt with the phone. But so, you know, we're going to be doing video. We're going to offer that, and we can do that for you, but you need to have a social media anchor and a professional account. And like I said, if you have any questions, contact me. I will make it so painless for you. I will make it so easy. And then we can share you doing a walkthrough of a home. I mean, that would be fantastic to have. You know, if you have this house, Susan had a great one the other day where the house wasn't that great of a looker outside. It wasn't. And then inside it was like a museum. And so with that type of content, you can show the inside of that house is beautiful. You know, get that best side. You know, we all have our best sides on when we like take photos and stuff. I think a lot of people do. Show that house's best side. You know, I mean, let's do it. And a video can do that effectively. And you can walk through, you can talk. We can just do sweeps and pans and stuff. But we're trying to get it really dialed in. And I think it's going to be really high quality content. And I would love to work with all of you. I just need you to have a Facebook page or an Instagram page. So that's my deal with you, agents. I'd love to do it. We have it all. We're getting it all set up. But probably next week we'll start doing it. But you can reach out to me if you have a great house this house needs a video. Oh, okay. I got one from Bob. This is such a Bob question. Bob says, should humor be used? What type? How much? Yeah, I love humor as well. I think humor is great. I think humor. Absolutely humor, yes, but it depends on your personality. I mean, so for Bob's a funny guy. I've talked with him twice, and one time we sat down. I had an interview with him, and he's a super Bob. You're hilarious, but so with Bob, like obviously humor is going to be a big part of what he does. I think that's great. I think that's wonderful. I think that engages the people that are following Bob, because Bob's a funny guy and everyone's going to expect that. You know, so yes, absolutely you should include humor if that's a part of you. But I would say we all know that the funny jokes aren't always the nicest jokes. So, you know, that's sort of a fine line you walk there too. You know, try to keep it PC. I guess, is it something you would say in front of someone else's small children is a good guideline for that.
Yeah, it depends how you're defining humor, Bob. Like I reposted one of the posts that Clinton did. The one that Caitlin mentioned when I was in front of the door, and I was like, I feel like a movie star. Like they're talking about me. I mean, I think there's just different ways you can do it and have a little fun.
Yeah, and also like Caitlin said, I mean, it's Corona time is not a funny joke, probably not a good joke right now. You know what I mean? So it depends.
Too soon.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can.
Yeah. An example I was thinking, and by the way, I don't have my picture up because I'm showing my best side here, Clinton. But I have a house, and it's a really an investor house. It's in East Omaha. It's pretty rough, but there's some clothesline poles on the side of the house, and I was thinking of maybe taking a picture of those and say, price includes solar clothes.
Laundry.
Yeah, solar clothes dryer, something like that, just to get people's attention, because this thing is, I mean, Susan, you know the house.
I think that's fine. I think you can post that.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's like kind of like the duck in the pool, in my opinion.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is exactly like that is your duck in the pool, Bob.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I got another one here. Oh, it's Gloria, but what kind of jokes is the CDC recommending? Inside jokes. Ha, ha, ha.
It's like
That's
a dad
good one.
joke.
Yes. I mean, I also, I would say I like it, Bob, what you said about the clothesline. Great. You're going to get a visual image of the house. Okay. They're going to see the house. It's not like you're just telling the joke on a page that's a post. You're including a visual of the house. So try to get a good photo. I'm also happy to help people take photos of houses. So if you want to schedule a time with me, let's learn how to take pictures of houses to make them look their best, and sometimes the not so great houses or the fixer uppers, I guess, I don't know what you guys call them, but those
I won't tell you what Clinton calls them.
I know. But I know sorry. But so with those, right, there's beauty in those houses though. I mean, and sometimes like, especially like the industrial properties and things, I mean, there is beauty that lies there. You just have to learn how to see it and take a picture of it and put it on your Facebook. Because people love old stuff, farm antiques, all sorts of stuff. I mean, it's like kind of junky, I guess. So I would say that there's more than one way to do this, and I would love to help you. And if you have a property, send me a photo of it. Let's meet and go take some pictures. We can stay 6 foot apart. Other questions?
Hey, Clinton.
Yes.
Hey, sorry, I hit the put my hand up.
Yeah, you were. I couldn't see you earlier.
I didn't know if it was working. I've never used it before. That was my first time, so apparently it didn't work. Anyway, so what was my question now? So, like the direction of content types and which way you share it from professional to personal, personal to professional. Maybe we can just use me as an example, and then you can critique it or tell me how wrong I am, or maybe if it does make sense. So with so I use my professional page like pretty much only when I have listings or if I'm doing any kind of paid ads, and then I'll reshare it on my personal page or into Facebook groups or things like that. But then when it comes to like personal content, so like on my personal feed, like I might have stuff all over the spectrum, but anything that might touch on my real estate brands that I post on my personal page, like say, for example, like, I don't know, some work that I'm doing on a rehab property or something, I might share that over to my professional page, just to start kind of showing the softer, more personal side on my professional page. But I guess my question is there any rhyme or reason to which direction to share content, which way? Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. And so I think here's what I would say. So there's a lot of people on this call or Zoom meeting, and people are at different levels. And so Jason, I am familiar with you on Facebook, And you are like, so you are you have been on social media for a long time and share like, you know, a bit of material. So what I would say is if it's different for you potentially than it is for someone just breaking into starting a professional page. So on the level where you have been, you know, using social media extensively for, you know, a while, I would say I like that you're using it, like you want to err on the side of professionalism, because I see that a low maintenance professional page as a business card. So, you know, you don't like, if you don't post anything, that's okay. You don't have to post every day. Like that's not required. And if you're posting the wrong content, sometimes that can hurt you more than it helps you, especially algorithmically, because Facebook's going to see that you're posting stuff that nobody's liking, and then it's going to bury your content, right? Like even friends, among friends, not just professionally, but I have friends who post all sorts of stuff, and then I never see their stuff anymore because Facebook figures out that I don't care about all the stuff that they're posting. So I think you want to keep it professional. I think absolutely post your houses, and try to get the best photo. Like I said, you can, a single photo of that home, and then you can link to a Circle Pix link or, you know, a PJMRE link or whatever you want in the text, and just keep it simple and sweet. But with your personal, yeah, you can do whatever you want, and you should share your professional stuff with your personal. So I would say, you know, if you share a lot, I would say it would be like 70-30 personal, professional, because you want to keep that sort of like, it's professional. It's like at work, you know, are you like, or anything else. I mean, anywhere else, you're going to like try to like have a little bit of restraint on your professional page and dial it back a touch so that it looks like you're a serious business person and that, you know, you're out there and you're an agent and you're serious. Does that help?
Yeah. Maybe just like one more follow up on that, talking about paid ads. What kind have you, I don't know how much, what you've been, I'm sure you've just been like fire hose since you've joined the team, but is there, and have you been experimenting with like, or getting a better idea of like what kind of ad copy is working best for paid ads, or like what kind of links to use or not use, or I guess for listings and redirecting to landing pages? Have you been doing much in that area?
Yeah, I mean, I have sorry to interrupt. Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. I have extensive experience with ads. So I've been on Facebook with a business for like 7 or 8 years. With ads, and ads are interesting. Facebook used to be non-algorithmic. It was first in time, like first come, first served. Everyone you followed, you saw all of their content. I mean, this goes back like to like 2008 or 9 or whenever. And then Facebook added the algorithm. They added the algorithm so that you would have to pay for ads because people wanted to put content in your news feed, and if it was first in time, it would look awkward. It wouldn't make sense to you. So they started mixing everything up. So now, especially with Facebook, which on a side note is why I like Instagram, because Instagram is much more algorithmic still than Facebook is. Facebook, they've really tightened the screws on like how much natural content you're gonna get. My feeling is that if you shouldn't pay for ads, you should strive to post good content that is going to engage the viewer or your customer or client, whatever term you want to use. And you should strive to do that when you post, that content is the best content you can post. And then if you have something that's successful, and let's say it's a house you're selling for, you know, close to $400,000 and it's sitting on the market for a week, then you pay to boost that ad because you've got something that's still sitting. And if you had a successful post with it, it's going to do well. And then when you're putting your money down on that advertisement, you're really getting dividends with that money. Because if you just pay for ads, it's like, it's just not worth it because you're not getting the interaction to begin with. So even if you pay to boost it, people are just going to ignore it anyway. Does that make sense?
So you're saying get organic reach first and then
yes.
Well, so the only thing that I conflict with, not to say that that's wrong, because I'm sure you're right, but when we're listing a house, that first week, I'm trying to get as much reach as I humanly can before that first open house.
Oh, and I totally agree with you. So there's a time frame element here, and with realty especially. So what I'm saying is that you should work. Okay, ads are secondary. It's just like anything else. I feel like if you're paying Facebook money, because that's going to cost you money, and not everybody does. So this is like, I have to approach this like for everyone, and not everyone's trying to spend money on Facebook ads. And some people don't even have Facebook pages. But if you have a professional page, you should focus on quality content, and you will win hands down every time. My company, I bet I ran a total of $1,000 in ads over the course of 5 years. I mean, we have like, 30,000 social media followers. So it didn't require a bunch of paid ads. Now with a house, it's important that because you want to get that thing sold. Now, until recently, it was like a seller's market. I mean, houses were hot, and unless you had it priced too high, I feel like that thing was going quick, and it was really a race to get the house. But I don't know how this is going to play out in the next couple months, but you might need more exposure for a home now, especially if you're trying to get top dollar out of it. So create that quality content and see how it does, and then boost it afterwards, even if it's a 24-hour period, because it's really a 24-hour news cycle with Facebook, just like the news and everything else. If you post that post, you're not going to see much interaction day 2 or day 3 on that post even. So then if you have a successful one on that house, then you boost it, and you haven't sold that house yet, or you're worried you're not getting leads. But I wouldn't just throw money at Facebook just to like throw money at Facebook, if that makes sense. But I get it's a specific time thing. That's very important. With homes, you're trying to get them sold and sold quickly. So, but I would say wait that 24 hours, see how it does. If you post something about that house and you're getting no algorithmic response at all, like no one's seeing it or reacting to it, and you then boost that, you're kind of boosting the weakness. So get a better photo, talk to someone, find out how to do that, because these days it's hard to get people to come to open houses. So you got to find a way to connect with them. And I think organic's the best. And then once that, because if you have a good post that performs well algorithmically from the beginning, and then you boost that, it just pays in spades. I mean, it's like your boost is like even bigger, because people are going to see it and want to share it and interact with it. Does that answer? Oh wait, we got more questions. Oh, is the sound breaking in and out? Okay, I guess it sounds good. Any other questions or anything? I will say real quickly, I like Instagram, you guys, and the reason I'm talking about Instagram is because there is algorithmic success still available on Instagram. Facebook is not as, Facebook is more pay to play. So I like Instagram. You may not all be familiar with Instagram, but just play with it. Create an account and just play with it. Even if you don't have a personal Instagram, you can create a professional Instagram. It's an easy format to use. It's a lot simpler. I actually love Instagram personally, and I used to not like it at first. So, that's a good platform. And there is always Twitter and LinkedIn. If you're really a fan of one of those two, or you have a following on one of those two, I'm happy to work with that as well with you. I mean, they're not my favorites, but that means nothing. That's just my personal opinion.
I'll take another question if nobody else has one.
Hit me up.
Time of day for posting. So consistency is obviously really key. That improves your how you come up in feeds algorithmically. How important is time of day, posting the same time of day, different times of day? How do you know when are the peak times and the best times or the worst times to be posting content?
So I know because I've posted 5,000 posts, but I mean, what we found out, so we spend a lot of time, in my previous endeavor, figuring this all out. And we had a team of people and we sat around and like basically calculated all of this stuff. So with posts, you know, in the morning is good. Early morning is going to be your lead post. And like you said, consistency, but it doesn't have to be 5 posts a day. It could be 1 post every 3 days. Just make sure that like you're not like a post and then not for a month and then a post and then not for a month. Like you just want like pick every 3 days or 5 days. Like don't make it too hard if you're new, because Jason, other people are going to be with different levels at this. Do you know what I mean? So I'm answering your question, but I have to answer the other question also. So just being regular about it every 3 days. And then I would also say in the morning is excellent. So early morning, think about your day. People wake up in the morning, they look at their Instagram or check their Facebook or whatever, and they're looking at that. So that's, you have a captive audience laying in bed because it's cold and the covers are covering you and you're just hanging out on your phone for 15 minutes before you get up and get ready for work. I would say that's good. I would say the middle of the day, you get less interaction, like after that brief period. And then in the evening's good as well, like 7 to 9-ish, like 9, after 9 gets a little bit late, but there's a real good window in there from like 7 to 9 that you're gonna get some real good interaction because people are at home, they're chilling. Sunday is an excellent day. I only post top-notch content on Sundays because everybody's home. And I used to sell a lot of stuff on eBay like years and years and years ago. And Sunday was like payday because everybody's sitting at home on their phone on Sunday, and it's a little weird now because we're all at home on our phone all the time now for like temporary time. But Sundays are great. Wednesdays and Tuesdays, middle of the week, less people have less stuff going on. Those are real good days too. Is that what you were wondering?
Yeah.
And we tested, I'm telling you, it's like years of this. So, I mean, those are the real good periods. I just gave it to you right there.
Again, I feel like I'm asking a ton of questions, so
That's
I'm
okay. I like
I'm only
questions.
feeling.
Oh wait.
I'm only feeling.
Caitlin, is there more on your agenda before we fill this all up with just social media?
No, that's fine. If people have questions, let's go for it.
Well, there's another
Okay.
question from Bob.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Bob says, generally speaking, what are the demographics of Instagram versus Facebook? So I would say I don't like to make assumptions. I feel as though Instagram is a younger audience. I would have to look at the data on that. In my experience, it has been. It depends on your customer base. And my grandma now has an Instagram. So, she's older. I mean, but, you're going to get a younger audience. There's fair housing implications here a little bit. So I would say, you're going to want to do generally the same thing with everything. That doesn't mean you have to be blind, obviously, to different audiences, but I definitely feel as though, look up the demographics. You guys can, like the average age of the Instagram user versus the average age of Facebook. I don't have it with me, but you can play to your audience, but there are potentially equal housing, and I'd have to look at that. I'm not going to pretend like I have a breakdown of that right now. But yes, that's a good point, Bob.
I think one of the best pieces of advice that Clinton has given me in the last couple weeks is don't just post to post, like actually have valuable content. But in addition to that, just post one thing in your post. Like don't try to cover 8 topics in one post. Like have it be specific and it's one thing that you're covering. And it's funny because I find myself starting to like post something and say this, and then I'm like, oh, nope, one thing, just keep it clear. And I think that's been very beneficial and given me like more content ideas because I can use the other 3 things I was going to put in the one post for something later on. So that's helped me from a content perspective.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it does help you with more content. You're right, Susan. Because then you want to cram 3 ideas into one post, and then you have 3 posts.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think that's a wrap. I don't know about you guys, but I think obviously Clinton has lots of great ideas to share here. So if you don't take advantage of calling and texting him, will you put your number back up again, Clinton?
Yeah, I don't know. I should have used a Sharpie.
That's okay. We can see it. 402-202-86. I can't read the last 2. There's a glare.
94.
There we go. And just get started. It's not that scary. Clinton and I did our first video attempt the other day, and we're going to meet again and do it. We're going to redo it only to make it better. But it was pretty great already. He mentioned that earlier on, but it's really nice to have someone to just help you get creative, think outside the box, and really just get started. That's the key part here, is to begin. So call Clinton, see what you can do. Call Caitlin. She's got other ideas for you on marketing strategies as we move forward into these uncharted waters, but we're going to be just fine. We're going to keep sending you all kinds of ideas and stuff to work on. Have a good day, everybody.